All right. Now, John D. Rockefeller. This guy um, came from a middle class background. Now, thing is, he was not one of those people who was basically, like, you know what, I'm rich, I'm going to kick back, or I come from a nice background, I'm just going to relax. No, he was a go getter as a kid. He worked several jobs. One of them, he sold candy. Another one, he raised turkeys and sold them. And then he did a lot of odd jobs, just for people in his neighborhood, anything to get money. Now, in 1863, 4 years after the first oil um, was basically drilled in Titusville, Pennsylvania, Rockefeller and some of his partners got together and entered the oil industry by investing in a Cleveland refinery. Now, in 1865, just 2 years later, he basically bought out his partners. By then, he bought them all out. And then about 5 years later, after that, along with his brothers and a group of people, he formed the Standard Oil Company of Cleveland. Now, as time went on and they started making money, what ended up happening is Rockefeller uh, made his company bigger by buying out the rival companies. And this is kind of smart in a sense because if you think about it, if some company is up and coming and he hears about it, he's going to buy them out. Now, to them, they're getting a lot of money, probably more than they could probably get from that well. So what ends up happening is he doesn't buy it just because, hey, he wants that oil, he wants a company. He doesn't want competition. So if you get rid of the competition and all that's left is you, then you can raise the rates on everyone else, including that person you sold or you bought the company from. Now, the thing is, he didn't just make it just for people in the United States, he made it worldwide. And he really kicked it up a gear. They were pumping oil left and right, day and night. Um, so much oil that the price of oil really dropped. Okay. But the thing is, I don't know if he didn't realize it or he just was thinking, oh, it's a never ending pot down there. But eventually, as time went on, those oil wells ran dry. And that is a large reason why we don't have oil in our country anymore. It's hard to find because back then they basically drilled and drilled and drilled and sucked up all the oil out of our country. And now basically we have to buy oil overseas in other places. We have to drill in Alaska. We have to do things like fracking. And if you don't know what that is, I suggest you look that up. Um, and so the thing is, by 1882, Standard Oil Trust, the company, had owned 90% of all the nation refineries and pipelines. Because remember, to transfer oil from one place to another, they would do it by railway. But when the railway system started to fight back against them, they were like, you know what? Well, we'll just pipe the oil from one place to another. And that saved them money. Now, another way they saved money, believe it or not, so that to make sure that their money did not go elsewhere to like make other people money, they basically made their own barrels for the oil. Like I told you about the pipeline, instead of paying other people to carry their oil, basically they created the pipelines to go from one place to the other, going through people's properties, and they would basically, in a sense, buy those people out, in a sense, because they had a lot of money. So as you can see, the picture to your right, Standard Trust Oil, and then you can see how it connects. it's basically grabbing onto all kinds of different things. Because believe it or not, the oil dependency starts at this time. Okay. Now, after watching the three videos, um, I want you to think really hard on this question. Do you think monopolies are a good or bad thing? And why do you think that? That's question number one. The second question is there any company right now, as of this day, that you think has a monopoly over a certain product or item? If you can't think of anything, then think of one company that is close to having a monopoly. Which company do you think really is everywhere, that almost controls all of one industry, whatever it is? You should be able to think of a company. That second question should not be blank. There should be something you can think of. Um, then explain why they are close to basically having a monopoly. Um, so at the bottom, as you can see, there's the writing prompt. Um, so I think monopolies are a good, bad thing because explain. And a company that is or is close to having a monopoly is, so name the company, and because why do you think they have a monopoly or they're close to having a monopoly? If you do a little research and you dig some stuff up, that'd be a pretty good thing to add on. So think about companies you see everywhere. You know that their advertisement, their products, their stuff is plastered everywhere. You know, or things that you see everybody have. If not everybody, then a large majority of people have it. Okay, so once you're finished with this question, that's it for this lesson. I know this one was long, and I get it, you know, but the thing is, you needed the time in class to do your project. So hopefully, after this video, you continue on your project. Um, so hopefully, you get some more of an idea what a monopoly is, and maybe through this video, through those political cartoons, you start getting some ideas for your project. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you guys have a good day, and I hope to see you in class. Okay, have a good night. Have a good day. Take care.